Hello and welcome to Charlie's Creative Corner. I'm glad you came by today to visit my channel. Not a whole lot going on today. Just hanging out. You know, it's Monday. Bummer. But that's okay. We'll get through it. Found out a couple days ago that the cranes are here. And I know they are because I saw a bunch of them this morning when I woke up. So I'm going to try and go out in the next day or two and, well, probably Thursday or Friday or something, and go and try and see the cranes. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be really cool. I've been watching them on the crane cam and everything and listening to them. They sound really neat. But that is going to be awesome. I am really happy they're finally here. It seems like it took forever. But anyway, besides that, not a whole heck of a lot going on, just hanging out. Today, I thought I would finally finish off and show you the lady souvenir doll. Now, fair warning, these are not for the faint of heart. These are not for the beginner beater. These are more of an advanced thing to make. If you are just starting out, I would recommend getting to be a little bit better before you jump into these, because otherwise you're just going to get frustrated and waste your time. If you are an advanced beater, then jump right in and enjoy the video. I'm not saying you can't watch the video. Go ahead and watch the video and see if it's something that you think you could do. But it's just one of those things where it's like, they take a lot of concentration. They take a lot of different skills and a lot of patience. So if you don't have those things, then I wouldn't recommend these. These are not for the faint of heart. Like I said, they are complicated little guys. So if you recall, on a previous video I did, we did the little chief doll, the little chieftain guy. Oh, isn't he cute? So cute. He's got his headdress and his little feathers hanging off the back. And then his little tiny little legs. And he wasn't very easy to do either. So today we're going to do his little partner. We're going to do his lady. So she's really cool. She's really fun. And she's not quite as difficult because the legs are different. The legs don't go off like in the other video where you do the peyote stitch and then you have to separate that peyote stitch into two and then do two peyote tubes off of that. So that's difficult. That's not easy to do. So that's pretty complex. The complex thing with her is her dress requires a lot of weaving, and even her hat is a little bit more complex. As you can see, this is our little lady doll. Now she's got her little hat on. She's got little, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. She's got little braids coming out from behind her head, right there. She's got her cute little arms and her pretty little dress. And then for her, she's got dangly legs, little dangle legs dangling down there. Probably so she can dance, because it looks like she's about ready to dance. But this is our lady doll, and she's a little bit more complex, a little more complicated than your standard beading projects. So, this is three-dimensional beading. It's not an easy thing to do. Like I said, I don't think she's quite as hard because of her legs, and that's not as hard, but her dress isn't very easy to do either. So I'm going to do my best at showing you guys how to make her. I'm going to do my best at teaching you, because, they aren't easy to do, so be patient with me. I will show you as best as I can do it, because they're not an easy thing to make. And I really hope that I can do it properly and show you guys how to do it right, because, and that you can understand it, because it's really hard to find the pattern for these. I guess these guys were big in the 50s and 60s. And they were like something people would buy in the little side road souvenir shops and things like that. And they were really popular then. I got one when I was a child in the 80s. So they were still around in the 80s, but now they're really hard to find and they're really kind of more rare. So if you can pull it off, it's well worth the time because they are not a popular thing anymore, but they are just amazing. They are the best ever. I love these things. And eventually I wanted to go through and show you how to do like a little hook here or circle, half circle here on top of their heads to make it into a pendant. And then you can do like a little daisy chain and you can put it on there and you can wear it as a necklace, which is so cute. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. I absolutely love them. And that's our little lady doll. Isn't she precious? I absolutely love them. So we're going to go through and try to make this today. I will go through and tell you what you need for supplies. And hopefully I can pull this off for you because I've been really wanting to do this. And I know that it's a hard thing to find and not everybody has it available. I looked forever. I looked for videos, for patterns online. I looked everywhere to figure out how to make this because I wanted one again because I had one when I was a kid. I don't know if it was just for like nostalgic reasons or what, but I really wanted to get one again and I could not find how to do it anywhere. I looked and looked and looked and looked. So hopefully I can pull this off for you and we can get this, so you can make one because it's not easy to find and they're not easy to do. And when I did get the pattern, it wasn't easy to understand. I really had to go through and like reread things multiple times. There was a lot of trial and error involved. So maybe this will be a little more clear and others can make these because they are the cutest things. And they would make great gifts for like grandkids or your own children or anybody like, say, an older relative who grew up then and maybe had one when they were younger even. So, I mean, they would make amazing gifts for people because they're just so precious. They are just absolutely precious. And, you can do other colors for the dress and the hat and everything. You can do whatever colors you want. White and black is just white and red is what I did with this one because that's what the normal, I think that's the standard colors for them. I don't know if I'm going to be doing the same colors today. I haven't decided yet. But I did when I made her. I thought it was kind of funny. I gave her blue underwear. I probably should have kept it white so it blended in a little better because you can kind of see it through the dress. But I might do white this time. I didn't realize that when I was putting on the blue, I thought that would look more like a belt. And I didn't realize the dress would be up under the belt line, which is the red one. The little red line here. And so I thought, oh, well, that'll look like a two-colored belt. No, it looks like blue underwear. So I might have to do that differently this time. So we will get all set up and we will go through what we need for supplies and we will start trying to make this cute little lady souvenir doll. So I will turn us around and we will get going here. So as far as supplies go, what we're going to need today is we're going to need our beeswax for our thread. And the thread I'm using today is a size 0 Nymo thread. And I do that because it's nice and thin and it's easy to go in and out of. I do believe I have an extra piece on here. Let me see how long we got it here. And it's just a really nice thread to use. Wildfire, things like that, I think would be a little too thick. I have an extra piece here. I'm just going to use that. I think that should be plenty. You're going to need a size 11 beading needle. I'm just using a tiny little sharp. If you use a sharp, be careful because you can get yourself with it and poke yourself pretty good. And then I'm also going to be using, you're going to need some kind of scissors, obviously, to cut your thread. And so as far as seed beads go, I'm using a size 11 seed bead. I mean, you could use a size 10 or even bigger, but the bigger it is, I think it's going to be a little bit harder, honestly. I think the smaller ones look really cute too. So you could use a size 10 if you wanted. It'd be just a little bit bigger than her here. But I'm using a size 11 today. And you're going to need a white, which I have a little bit left in there, but I have another one if I need it. So I'm going to set that one aside. So you're going to need a white, size 11. You're going to need, I'm using orange for the flesh tone. So I'm using a opaque light orange for the flesh tone. You're going to need a black opaque, size 11 for the hair and the eyes. And then the red, black, or a dark, I'm using a dark red opaque for the little details in her lips and things like that. Now, all the ones I'm using are opaque. Like if you wanted to do different colors for her dress and things, that would be totally cute. So it doesn't matter. But as far as like for her face and her hair and her legs and her arms, or I should say her hands, you might want to use more of an opaque for that. So just so it comes out really nice and the details come out nice. More of a metallic might be kind of hard to see. I know a translucent would be really difficult to see. So I would recommend opaque beads. And that's what we're going to need for our supplies today. We'll get threaded up here. Get those beads out of the way. And I'm going to do an arm's length, or I'm sorry, a wingspan. So put your thread in one hand, put it in the other, and then spread your wings out wide. So spread your arms apart, and that's the length that you're going to need. You shouldn't need any more than that. You know, we all have different length arms, so it kind of depends. Use your best judgment. But that way you don't have to tie off and add new. And that should get you at least through her body and her arms and things. So I'm going to wax my thread up here. You want to do just a simple coat. It doesn't have to be anything too much. I don't have to go too crazy with it. Unfortunately, today is kind of a cloudy day too, so it's a little dark in my room. Let me bring the light over a little bit more. Maybe that'll help. Bring it down a little. There we go. I gotta keep it so it's not in my face, because then I can't see around it. I'm gonna thread my needle here. Here we go. All right, so we got our needle threaded. Now I'm gonna set my beads out. So I got my beads ready. Make some piles here. I don't think I'll go through all those white beads, but just in case I got some. And these, honestly, these right here are the last of my black beads because they haven't stocked at the store. And I have gone for like 3 weeks in a row trying to get black seed beads. I can't get them. I cannot find them. So hopefully they stock up soon. And I'm just going to do a little red because we don't need a whole lot of red to start with. Alrighty. I think we are ready to roll. Let me get this out of my way here. Now, I'm going to bring you guys in, focus you in a little bit. It's always good to have a nice vantage point. Let's see where I'm at here. So to start with, we're going to need a circle of 11 beads. And so what we want to do is we want to string so we want to, sorry, I'm reading here. We want to string 11 red beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm going to double check my counting here. All right. And then you bring that down your thread, and you want to leave a little bit of a tail here. You don't want to have too much, but you got to have enough so you can weave your tail back in and out and get rid of that tail. So I'd say probably about 5 or 6 inches. And then you just tie that into a knot. And her body is the same as the Chief Souvenir doll, but I thought we'd go through it again I'm not going to make you go through and watch the other videos and then come back and watch this one. You know, that just doesn't seem very right to me. So we have our 11 beads strung here. And now we're going to start building her body up. So we're going to start building. See, this is what we just strung, was that red line here. And we're going to build up her body. Now this takes a little bit of time. Probably the most time consuming besides her dress. So, all right, I had to close my window there. It was getting a little chilly. Okay, so we have our circle of 11 beads here. Right there, just like that. It doesn't have to look perfect. It'll work its way through. And now we're going to start in with our pattern, okay? So we're going to need 6 white beads. And I like to set my beads out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't string these right away, but I like to set mine. I like to set them out so I know that they're there and what I have strung and what I haven't strung. It kind of helps me keep track of my pattern and make sure that I haven't missed anything. Now, this lighting, not very clear. Maybe that'll help a little. Okay, so I like to take my little circle here I have, and I'm going to hold this tail in my left hand, or vice versa if you're left-handed, like that. And see, this is where our thread's coming through here, okay? And so we're going to pick up a white bead, just like that. And so our thread's coming out here. So this is technically bead 1 because our thread's coming out right behind it. We're going to skip bead 1 and enter into bead 2 and pull our thread through. Now this is our whoops, my tail. This is the odd count peyote stitch is what we're doing right now. So we will go through it. Now we're going to pick up another white bead. Okay, our thread's coming out of this bead right here. And there's a bead here. We're going to skip that bead and go into this bead. So our thread's coming out. You can see where the thread's coming out of this bead right here. And then we're going to skip this bead and go into the bead next to that. So it's pick up a bead, go through a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead, skip a bead. We're going to pick up another white one. And our thread's coming out here. There's this bead here. We're going to skip him and go into his friend right next door. If I can get my needle through there. Right there. So your thread's coming out of this first one. Skip that one, go through this one. And this first row is going to look wonky and weird. You know, it's just, that's how it is. It will even out. Don't worry about it. Just be patient. After your first about 2 or 3 rows, the peyote stitch will start evening out and looking better. It'll start taking its form. So now our thread's coming out of this bead. There's this bead here. We're going to skip. Our thread's coming out of this one. We're going to skip this one and we're going to go into this one right here, just like that, and bring it through. There we go. And pick up another white bead. Thread's coming out of this bead. Oh, it's focusing on that. There, maybe. I hope that's a little better. I'm trying to focus on those beads in the background. So our thread's coming out of this bead. We skip this bead and we enter into that bead. Okay? Now I know we have one bead left, one white bead here left, and this looks odd. You're thinking, well, where the heck am I supposed to put it? Well, that's why it's odd count. at the end of odd count, you have to make a step up, okay? Because we only have these 2 beads here, okay? That's not, relevant with the rest of the pattern we've already done. What we need to do is you'll skip that bead, right? And this is where your step up comes in. You're going to go directly into that first white bead that we've strung, okay? And that's your step up in your odd count peyote. And you're thinking, God, that looks really weird. Well, that's how it is. So for our next row, our row 2, we're going to need a white and a black and a white and a black and a white bead. Okay, that's going to be our next row. We're only going to be putting 5 on. Okay, and that way we know if we've put them on or not. We'll set them there. So you want to pick up your white bead. And the great thing about peyote is it sets you up for where you need to go. And you can kind of push these up a little. It'll start taking its form. Just be patient with it. So the thing about it is that it will let you know where you're going to be putting that bead. And so you see this is sticking out here. And with peyote, you want to skip a bead and then go through a bead. So basically, you're going to be skipping that lower bead and you go into the higher. You always want to enter into the higher upper bead because you can see it here where it has the lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher beads. So basically, you just want to go through that white bead there, sticking out. It's saying, stick a needle through me, I'm ready. So stick that through there, and you can kind of push up with your thumbs as you go along to kind of help it get that tubular shape. And then we're going to need a black bead. So pick up a black bead. You're going to go through, where am I at here? Go through the white bead, just like that. Pull it through. It's trying to form the other direction on me. Give me 1 second. I got to pull this tail through. It's gone through the wrong way. There we go. There we go. You see, it's kind of trying to go tubular on us here. And it will. It'll start doing that. Now we need a white bead. And we just go through that upper white bead there. Just like that. See, it's starting to kind of take its tube shape. And it'll start working its way up. Just got to be patient with it. Plus, it's not easy to hold on to at this point. And then we need a black bead. And we go up through that upper white bead there. Pull through. And I mean, you want some tension with peyote, but you don't want to pull too tight because that's gonna warp it and make it look funny. But you do want some. You don't want too little and you don't want too much. There's a happy medium level when it comes to the tension that you use. Because if you go too loose, it's going to be floppy and it's going to cave in on itself and it's not going to be round and tubular. But if you go too tight, it's going to warp it. So you have to find that happy medium with your tension as you pull your needle through. All right, we got 1 bead left here. We're going to make my tensions all right for now. We'll kind of see it as it goes. And it seems a little wonky the first few rows, like I said. It'll work itself out. Let's pick up that last white bead, okay? And you're going to want to stick it into that first white bead right here. You don't have to worry about stepping up on that. We've already made our step up. And see, that's going to be our second row. So it's kind of taking shape. You got to give it a little bit. Now our next row is going to be white beads, and we're going to need 6 white beads. So I'm going to count out 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got our 6 white beads there. And you just keep going around. You can tell which bead is the upper bead when you look at it. You can hold on to it. It's kind of tiny to hold on to. So pick up a white bead and then skip a bead and go through. Just like that. And you'll see that again. We'll do that again. Pick up a white bead, skip a bead, and go through. You can kind of tell, you know, like I said before, your thread's coming out of that bead. You skip a bead if it would focus. There we go. Thread's coming out of here. Skip a bead, add a bead. Trying to focus on those. There we go. Skip a bead and add a bead. And you can tell which one's kind of sticking out. And if you can't, always, it's easy to know, because if you can't tell which one's sticking up, because sometimes at the beginning it's a little hard to tell. But whatever thread, whatever bead your thread's coming out of, okay, you want to skip the bead next to that and then add a bead. And usually you can usually tell if it's an upper bead or not, but if you can't, that's a good way to know what bead to go into. Pick up another white bead. We're doing 6 of these, so thread's coming out of here. And we're gonna skip a bead and add a bead. We'll just keep going around like that. It's kind of trying to take its shape now. The tubular stitch is nice like that, because it'll kind of jump up. It's interesting. It kind of just pops up after it gets to a certain amount of beads on there. Skip a bead, add a bead. Thread coming out of here. Skip a bead, add a bead. Pick up another white bead. Thread's coming out of here. Skip a bead. And you can kind of tell now, you can see which one's up and which ones are down. So, trying to turn it on for me. Skip a bead, add a bead. And there is row 3. Now you can tell, kind of give it a little tug here. You can tell now really well, if this stupid camera would focus, there we go, which bead is an upper and which is a lower. You can totally see it now. White's kind of hard to come up on film. It doesn't show up too well on film. Now, our 4th row is going to be the same as our 2nd row. And we're going to go back and forth with a white bead, 1 white bead, 1 black bead, 1 white bead, 1 black bead, maybe, and a white bead. Okay, so 3 white beads and 2 black beads, but the pattern of it is white, black, white, black, white. So we want to pick up a white bead, skip a bead, add a bead. You can see that one's, come on, focus. You can see that one sticking up. Let me turn this here. See, our thread is coming out there. That's the one we skip. This bead right here. We're going to skip this lower bead. And we're going to go into the upper bead. Like that. Kind of going backwards here. It's kind of hard. Oh, and I got tangled. Trying to give you a better view, and I tangled myself up. I come through here. There we go. And then we need a black bead. Skip a bead, add a bead into that upper bead there. A white bead. And we're going to skip a bead. You can see that one sticking up. So we're going to skip a bead and then add our bead into that one there. It's kind of hard to see with white, but we need another black bead. Skip a bead, add a bead. And another white. And skip a bead, add a bead. And you'll be able, you'll be able to tell if you're lining up right because your pattern's going to line up. See how those black beads are lining up into a row on both sides. When I made my first souvenir doll, those didn't line up. And those are her pigtails coming down is what those are going to be. So you want those to line up. All right, so our fifth row here, we're going to do all white beads. So it's going to be 6 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I can grab it, 6. Excuse me. And then we're just going to keep adding here. Pick up a white bead and skip a bead and add a bead. And then keep your tautness good too. Pick one up, skip a bead, and then add a bead. Skip a bead, add a bead. We keep working our way through it here. Skip a bead, add a bead. Like I said, wherever your thread, whatever bead your thread's coming out of, like there, okay, you want to skip that lower bead. You want to skip the lower bead and then go into the higher bead. Every time. So that's coming out of the black there. There we go. Camera and its focus, of course. So our thread's coming out of that black bead. There's that lower white bead right next to it. You skip that bead and then go into the upper bead next to that. So skip a bead and add a bead. Always go into the upper bead. The first few rows are probably the hardest to tell which is an upper bead. So once you get past those first 2 or 3 rows, it usually works itself out and you can tell quite well. There we go. Got that there. Now row 6, it's going to change just a little bit. We're going to start incorporating the face in here. So we need white, 1 black, 1 orange, 1 black, and 1 white. So we want to add a white bead, pick up a white bead, go into your upper bead, like that, pick up a black bead, go into the upper bead. We'll just kind of work our way through here. An orange bead, go into that upper bead, a black bead, go into that upper bead, and a white bead, and go into the upper bead. That's why I like to lay out my beads, so I know. It's easy to get lost with tubular peyote, like, did I do that whole row? So it's always a good idea to lay out your pattern as you go along. I'm going to move these red beads out of my way because the camera is like super focused in on them and kind of interrupting our focus. So, okay, get a drink there. 7th row, we're going to continue adding the face on. This is kind of where the face is going to start coming through here. So you should have something that looks like that. There's a little orange bead in between those two black, and the rest is white back there. So we need a white bead, a black bead, 2 orange beads, 1, 2, a black bead, and a white bead. So like that. So we want to pick up the white bead, put it in the upper bead. Whoops. I think I dropped it. I did. Grab another here. It's so funny when I clean my room, the vacuum is just like catching all of these beads as I vacuum. I drop probably as much as I put on black bead. But they're so tiny, you can't find them. It's impossible. An orange bead. Another orange. A black bead. And a white bead. Alrighty. There, we got that. Her chin's starting to come through. All right, in our next row here, I gotta fix my tail. There we go. We're on row 8 now. So we're gonna wanna do a black, 1 black, 1 pink, pink, orange. What color is it? 1 orange, 1 red, 1 orange, and 1 black. Okay. So do a black bead, do that upper black bead, an orange bead, into that upper orange bead. This red here is her mouth that we're going to do. So pick up the red one. It's going to be her lips. An orange one. Into that black one. And a black bead into that white. There we go. Here's her little lips coming through. All right. And row 9, we're going to do 2 blacks, 1, 2. I don't like the shape of that one. Sometimes the black ones are a little... Okay, 2 black, 2 orange. 1, 2. We got some tiny wimpy little looking beads here today. And then 2 more black. So 2 black, 2 orange, and 2 black. And we'll put those on. A black, a black, is this even focusing? My light, sometimes it's the lighting of orange. Another orange. a black, and another black. Go. And now row 10. We're getting closer. We're getting so much closer, guys. Okay, so black, 1 black, 3 orange, 1, 2, 3, and another black. So a black, 3 orange, and a black. Okay, so black, orange, orange, bringing her face into play here, orange, and a black. That's what she's going to look like there. Okay. So next row, we want to do 6 blacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now these next 2 blacks are her eyes. So if you wanted to do a different colored eye, you could. You could do like a blue eye or a green eye or something. And that would be these 2 right here. Because you see, these is her little lips here. And this one and then that one are going to be her eyes. I'm going to stick with black. I mean, you could do a brown if you have a brown. You could do green. Any color eyes you want. So you can always change your eye color if you want. See, those are her little eyes coming through. And one more. Go. That's that row. So row 12, we're going to need a black, 1 black, and 3 oranges. 1, 2, 3, and another black. So a black, 3 orange, and a black. And row 13, we need 2 blacks, 1, 2, 2 orange, 2, and 2 black. So 2 black, 2 orange, and 2 black. And we need, for our next row, 2 blacks, 1, 2, an orange, and 2 black. 1, 2. So 2 black, an orange, and 2 black. So getting close to the end here. Next row is all blacks. So we need 6 black beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 black beads. So we had this cat. He belonged to this girl. He first came by our doorstep, a while back ago, and I didn't know what the situation was, but he had his collar on, so I took him home. And I met his mom and everything, and I was like, he was hanging out at our door, and she was like, oh yeah, he'll do that. And his name's Mr. Paws. He's a little black cat with white front paws. And he kept coming by and visiting, and we'd give him treats now and again. And it got to the point where he just wouldn't leave. He would just literally just camp out at our doorstep. And so, I, like on Thanksgiving, I gave him a Thanksgiving dinner and fed him a can of wet kitty food for a treat. So that was our 15th row. That was, real quick, that was 6 black beads. And our 16th row here is all going to be black too, because we're at her hair. So it's going to be 5 black beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 black beads for this row. And so he wouldn't leave. And then finally my husband, one day he took the broom outside and he kind of shuffled it on the ground by him and kind of shooed him off. Was like, shoo, shoo, go, 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 go home, get away, go, go. Just because he wouldn't leave. He would just literally, it didn't matter how cold or what the weather, he literally just sit on our porch all day and night. And so he shoot him off, and we haven't seen him all winter. We were kind of worried about him. We were thinking, oh no, he's probably got hit by a car or something, or we didn't know. You know, we were worried about it, poor little fella. And so my husband just ran into his pa's mommy at the mailbox, and I guess he found a new house to obsess over. So he is in perfect health. He's doing fine. He was just at someone else's home, but they are moving now, so probably won't ever see Mr. Paws again, but I'm glad to know he's okay. So that was kind of an interesting little add to the day there. So that kind of made me feel a little bit better about stuff. I didn't feel so terrible that we shoot him away. He must have found somebody else to attach to. Okay, so let's see. We need to, let me read my directions here. And we need to add one more row of black beads here. So that's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe. Yes. 6 black beads, and that will be the last part of her head here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I felt so terrible when he scared him off, and he's like, well, we can't have a cat. We already have 2 cats. We don't need another cat hanging around the house all the time. And I was like, I know, but I feel so bad for him. He's like, well, you know, he has a home. And I would clean his eyes because his eyes would get a little runny and goopy. So I'd clean his eyes for him and I'd pet him. And I missed seeing him. And I was really, honestly, I was worried about him because we got, during the winter, I mean, we were down to like negative 25 degrees. It got really cold. And I was like, man, there's no way he survived that. So he found somebody else to mooch off of. But that's good. That's better than him having an ill fate or something. So I'm glad that we finally got that resolved and settled and know his fate. That makes me feel better. He's a really sweet kitty. So it's kind of an interesting little story for the day, I guess. But I just found out. So I'm happy about that. Really happy he's okay. All right. Now that is it for her body part, her head and chest and hair and everything. But now we have to seal up her head. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is kind of tricky, and I will do my best at showing you. We need 5 black beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to need 5 black beads right there. So, give me 1 second. I got to read this here. Now we're coming out. Let me see if I can get this lighting a little better for you. Coming out of this one right here. Maybe that's too bright. It's kind of a cloudy day, so it makes it a little more difficult. And you know, black beads are not the easiest, so you can see all the way through the tube. Whoa! Okay. So we have, we count 1, 2, 3. So here, let's see if I can focus good enough here. You're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 beads on the top of her head, okay? Now what you want to do is you're going to be going through this one here. Now this is kind of tricky because of the diagram I'm looking at. You got to give me 1 second here to look this over. So we're going to pick up 2 beads like this, okay? And we're going to count over So our thread's coming out here. We're going to count over. Let me check here. One, two, three, four. Hang on one second. I gotta do something real quick. Okay, I have to bring my thread back to where, see, it's coming out this direction. I need my thread going out the other direction. So I'm going to bring my thread through this first bead here, right next to it. So hard to see that black. Okay, bring my thread through there, like that. And then I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it through the one below it. Where is it? Okay, through the one below it. And then through the one over to the side of it. I just need to get my thread going this way through this bead, because I have it going through the wrong way. And then back up. See, we're going through this one below here. So I'm going to go back this direction through this bead, like that. No, that's not going to work. Gonna go. We just have to get our, whatever you can do to finagle to get your thread going this direction out of one of these top. Let me go over to this one over here is what I'm gonna do. Like that. And then I'm gonna bring it up again. This one, this very top one. Right here. There we go. So basically anything you can do to get your thread coming out this direction from right to left. Okay, and you want that on one of the upper beads. Okay. It doesn't matter if there's some thread coming through here, because there's going to be a hat here to cover all that up. So get your thread going on a top bead, an upper bead. Focus one of these upper beads going this way. Okay, like that. So we have that coming out through there. I'm going to add 2 beads onto my needle. Okay, and then this bead here where our thread's coming out of, we're going to count from that. We're going to count 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This bead right here, the 4th bead to the left. Okay, we want to go in the other way though. So we're going to go in this way, like that. Okay. I know that was completely and utterly like confusing. Sorry. And that'll put 2 of those beads on the top. Okay. And then we're going to add another bead. 1 bead here. Our thread is coming out here, outside of that bead. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to skip the lower bead where your thread's coming out of and go into the one next to that, like that. Okay. And that'll add that other bead here, this bead here. He's going to kind of flop around. We'll tie him down. And then you want to pick up 2 more beads. Okay. And your thread's coming out of this one here. And you want to go over 1, 2, 3, 4 and go into that 4th one there. bring that over. Oops, my tail's sticking out. Like that. Okay. So now you have two beads on one side added. And then 2 beads over here, and then 1 up here. Okay. Now, what you want to do is we got to make sure that those are going to hold together. So you have your 2 beads over here that are loose. Go through the bottom first one, the first bottom one there. You want to go through that one, okay, like that. And then your 2 beads over on the right side, these 2 loose guys over here, you want to go through the top right one, okay, top right one. And then this loose one, this single one strung, go through that one. Like that. And then you want to go through the top second one on the left side. You go through that top one like that. Okay. And then you want to go through the bottom second one on the right side. Bottom one right there. Just like that. And that will seal her head off. You kind of put a little topper on top of her head there. Just like that. There we go. Now, I have to remember where I put her little braids, because this is just something I added. That wasn't part of the pattern. So I'm going to figure that out here. I got to count it here. This was just a little addition that I did. So from the bottom, white. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we want to work our needle down. So you see this white bead right here, this tip top white bead. We want to go 1, 2, 3 up. Okay, so we need to work our needle down to that. Just kind of work your needle down into this bead here. So that's not too far. It's only about 3 jumps away. About right there. Just like that. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I want to make sure. Yep. Okay. And I only put 3 black beads on this last time I made it. I think I'm going to do 4, maybe 5. I want it to be longer. I think I'm going to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a red bead. So it's going to look like that. Okay. And just bring that down. And it's like you would do fringe. So you have that there, and then you just bring your needle through the black bead. Skip that red bead, and then bring your needle through those black beads. Just like that. And pull through, and we can adjust it. Just kind of grab that white bead with your fingernails. And just kind of make it tight. Oh, I like that longer like that. That's nice. Okay. And then we're going to do that again right next to that. Those black beads are hard to see. I'm sorry. I can't even see where it's coming in. Okay, we need to go back in here. Go back through the bead that you came through. There it is. That third bead up, you got to go back through that. And that'll tighten that braid. And then we want to go into the bead next to that on the other side. So we got to bring our needle down and through some of these to get on the other side of that. Just like that. So you're coming out. This is so hard to see on the black. I'm so sorry. So you're coming out on the other side. It's so hard to see. This bead is where you're coming through with the braid, and then the bead next to it, we're going to do another braid. So I'm going to pick up 5 beads. Like that, and then a red bead. And you can put these anywhere back here. You don't have to put them up high like I did, but that's where I put mine. You could put them lower, put them wherever the heck you want. Oh, I like them longer though. I really like them longer. It'll show up a little better underneath the hat too. And you want to go back through them all, wherever I am here. There we go. Like that. There we go. Now she's got a couple braids coming out of her hair. I want to go back through that bead. You got to go back through the bead that you came out of. Like that. There we go. And there's her little braids. Like I said, you don't have to put them there. You could put them lower. You could put them more to the side. It's up to you. I just added those. That was one of my additions. That was not part of the pattern that I have. So that was just something that I put in there for it. Now for her arms, we're going to do the arms next. As you can see here on her, this will be a little easier because it's white. But you see the 3 braids, the 3 beads that make up the braids, okay? We want to be coming through this bead right here. Okay, it's going to be right in between the top, the 2nd and 3rd bead. Okay, but you want to be coming from behind. So make sure your needle's coming through this direction. So on this guy here, or girl, you want to bring your needle, because we're up here with our thread. We have to weave our thread in and out and through over to where we're coming through like this, okay, out of that bead, okay? Double check myself before you start getting into it. Enter from the back. Okay, I thought I remembered writing a note about it. So we'll bring our thread down and through some stuff. Where am I coming out of here? Kind of bring our thread through. Whoops, did I just get wrapped up in that? No, okay. Let's kind of work our way down. And so right here, you want your needle coming through right there. You see how my thread's coming out back here, and the pointy part of the needle is going forward. So you want that facing that direction so her arms lay correctly. Just bring that through. Try not to get wrapped around her head. Like that. So you're going to want that thread coming out right there, this direction, or it's going this way, from left to right. And it's going to be these two black, this is her braids coming down. There's 3 beads here. And we'll count this 1, 2, and 3. There's this white bead behind bead 2 and 3. You want your needle coming out and through with your thread facing towards her face, coming out so we can attach our arms. Okay. Now for her arms, what you want to do is, hang on a second, we need 4 white beads, 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay, and 3 orange. So 4 white beads and 3 orange. String those on there. So you'll have that. And then pull that down like that. See, that's our arm is high. And then what you want to do, skip those 3 beads on the bottom and then go through those 4 beads. Okay. Go through those 4 beads and pull it. You can kind of use your fingers to adjust everything. You want to make sure everything's taut and like that. Hello, I have an arm. She finally got an arm. And then you want to take your needle, and we entered through this bead. Okay, focus. Here we go. We entered through this bead. That bead right there. The bead right directly below that. The bead that's between the black 1 and 2 beads. You want to enter from the front to the back. Like that. So don't go through that same bead that we came out of. Go through the one below that and pull. And there is your little arms. And make sure that her little fingers are like a triangle shape. Like that. And there's her little arm. Now we have to bring our needle through behind her body. We have to weave it behind her body. And then we have to come through. Remember, we came through this one over here. We have to come through this one right here. So we want to come through that one in that direction where the point is coming this way. So we have to weave behind her body to get to that bead. So we got to work our needle through and around stuff to get there, which isn't hard with peyote. You just do a little strip at a time. But just work your thread through, and this will tighten her other arm as you do it. Okay. So your needle, you have your 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. These 3 beads that make up her braids hanging down in the front of her body. So, pardon me. So you go in between, there's 2 and 3, bead 2 and 3. So you go in between that and that white bead. Right there to put on her arms. And pull it through, and then we need to add our beads to our string. So 4 white, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 orange. 1, 2, 3. Like that. Bring it down. It's like that. And then you want to skip those 3 orange beads. Don't go through those. Just go through those white beads. Just like that. Pull it through. And we can adjust it and tighten it. Make sure her fingers are in the proper position. Like that. Okay, and then remember, we go through, we don't go through that bead that we came out of under her armpit. We go through the one, there's bead 1 and 2 of the black beads, that one bead behind there. Her arm's kind of in the way. You go through that one. So, like that. So bead 1 and 2 of the black, there's a white bead in between those. And that's where you want to go through, from the front to the back of her body. And then pull through. Try not to get our tail in there. Just like that. And there are her arms. Just like so. Oh, it's perfect, isn't it? All right. We got our little braids on now. And we have her little arms on. Coming together. All right, so now I want to get rid of this tail. It's driving me nuts. It's in my way. I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to put my nail on the tail here. And I'm just going to weave that in and out and tie some knots and get rid of it. I am going to need it out of my way to do this other, the skirt and the hat and the legs and things. So I'm going to put my needle on there and I'm just going to start working it through and getting it out of the way. Because I don't need this up in my business. Oops, and then I lost it. There. Let's get that out of the way. Make sure not to cut your thread. I'm going to cut that off of there. There. Get that out of the way. That was kind of in our way there. I'm going to rethread my needle here. Whoops. Alrighty, there we go. I think we'll do the hat next. So we need to move our needle up to these top 2 rows of her head. So we just need to get our needle in that general vicinity. So we'll just work her up through. Work it up through there. Almost there. All right, so now we're going to try and attach her head. or I mean her hat. So this is kind of complex and complicated, and I will do my darndest to get us through this. And this isn't focusing worth a darn. I don't know if it will. Hang on, let me back up a little maybe. There we go. Okay. So at the top of her head, around, there's going to be 11 beads. I don't know if you can see this. Sorry, I'm moving my light and bumping into everything. So I want to get my thread. So my thread's coming out. Where am I coming out here? So I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. My thread's coming out of this bead here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay? So we need to come up. I have to count it. Hang on. I need to go up 1 on this one. So we go up 1 more. And I got tangled. This is the complicated part, is lining everything up proper. Excuse me. Sneezing over here. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is where it gets complicated because those other beads are in there. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. You're going to see that 11 ring around her head. And they're going to be the up and down beads. So the up bead or the down bead is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You will be able to see it on your own and count that around there. So we're going to be going into every single bead, I do believe. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, we will be going into every single one. I'm going to, we only are going to need our white beads and our red beads for this. Okay. Now, for me, what I did with her, you can kind of see a little pattern here where the red go around the head, and then at the ends here, there's 1 red bead. Now, this doesn't have to be completely perfect. It's kind of a little floppy hat anyway. So if it's not perfectly lined up, you're not going to lose sleep over that. So what you want to do is you want to pick up, let's see, give me 1 second. I got to figure out where I'm going to start. I'll start there at 1. So we need to pick up 1 red. And then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white. 1 red. Oh, I'm sorry. This is kind of tricky here. I'm sorry. You'll have to be patient with me. So 1 red, 2 white. 2 white. Come here. Another red. And pick up my beads. 2 white. And a red. So you want a red, 2 white, a red, 2 white, and a red. Okay, you want to bring that down just like that. Bring it down through there. Now this is kind of tricky because what you need to do is you're going to need to go through this red bead on this. Okay, if I can hold on to it there. This bead here, you have to go through this bead when you go through. So you're coming out of here. I'm going to be going into this bead right here. So I'm going to, it's kind of hard to position. The first one, it gets kind of tricky. I'm trying to position it here. I'm going to just position that kind of best I can. If I can get my fingers around things. Okay. Now, you want to go through this red bead. I think, like, hang on. Like I said, I've done this once, so be patient with me. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's after the fact. So just go through the bead next to it. So you're coming out here. Okay. And go through the bead next to that and pull it through. And you'll have kind of a little curly thing. Sometimes you got to adjust it so it doesn't twist. You got a little curly thing coming through. Now you want to go through that red bead. Right? Like that. Okay. Pull that through. And try not to get caught on all our arms and braids and everything. Okay? So you're going to be coming out of that red bead like that then. Okay? Now, let me mark where I've been so I know what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, now we just need, this one's easier because it's a smaller part of it. So we just need a white bead and a red bead. A white and a red bead. And then we want to go through the neighboring bead here. Like that. Bring it through. And then go back up through your red bead. Can be kind of a trick. Like that. Okay. And that'll kind of pull that taut. Like that. Still have something that, for braids here, have something that kind of looks like that. Okay. I'm going to keep marking where I've been here. So now it's going to be a big hoop again. You need 2 white. 1, 2. Oh, that's red. Derp. 2 white. Okay, 2 white, a red, and 2 white and a red. Okay, and then you want to go figure out where we're coming out of here. And we want to go into the bead next to that. If I can get through it. There we go. Got a black bead next door. Pull tight, like that. And then we want to go through the red bead again, like that. And it'll work its way out as we keep working on it. Now, we want to mark off that. Gotta know where we've been here. Then we want a white and a red. One white, one red. And we want to go into the neighboring bead here. Oops, my tail wrapped up like that. And we're going to go through that red bead again. Always go through that red bead. Back up through there. And we're getting there. It looks kind of weird at first, but it'll come together as we get further. Now this is a little different. I think it's because it's just the way the pattern's made. We just need to do another white and a red. It's a little off-centered, probably because it's odd count. So we need a white and a red. Like that. Okay, go through that neighbor bead again. That, and then through the red bead again. And then we need 2 white and a red, 2 white and a red. And then we go through that neighbor bead again, our next bead. Like that. Go through that red bead. Back through the red bead. There we go. That. We need a white and a red. A smaller hoop. There's one spot where you do 2 small hoops. I think it's just to even it out. That's just the way the pattern's written. That's just how I do it. Then we want to go through our neighbor bead. Like that. Come back up through the red. That. And then we need to do 2 white, a red, two white, and a red. There we go. And we go back into our neighbor bead. Sure, the right one. There we go. Double check it. Back up through the red bead again. Go. You kind of see the hat shape coming in. I'm almost done with this part here. We need a white and a red. And then we go through our neighbor bead. At this point, you should have 2 neighbor beads to go through, 2 more black beads. So there's 1, and then we'll have 1 more. So if you got 1 more, you're lined up right. And like I said, what'd I do? It's kind of a little floppy hat, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Go back up through the red bead. That. There we go. Give it a little, there we go. And then for our last one, or no, almost the last one, we're going to need 2 white, a red, 2 white. I can pick them up. There we go. And a red, like that. Go through our neighbor bead. Okay. And what you want to do, make sure it's straight. Sometimes it twists up. Go through that red bead again. Okay. Like that. And you want to add a white bead. Okay. And when you add that white bead, this is the end of the line here, basically. So you're going to add that white bead, and then what you want to do is you want to go through that red bead. Hang on, I got to tighten this here. Okay. I'm going to go through that red bead next to it and the black bead. Okay, I know that's a little odd, but just like that. And that'll be your last little sealed part of that. Now, we want to get up to the points, these red points here. So we need to bring our needle through. I'm just going to go, which direction am I coming out of here? Okay, I'm coming out of this direction. So I'm going to go up here through this red and white and the white ones here. Like that. Because you want to be going through these red tip ones. So get your needle going through one of the red tips. Bring your thread through. So we're going to go and we're going to connect all of these little red tips to make this the brim of the hat. Okay, and we're going to need to add, let's see, where are we at here? Where's that one with the 2 little? That looks like that's right there. So there, we're there. Okay, I got it. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I am because you have to add, I think, 1 more bead when you add the, where the 2, you know, remember the 2 smaller ones we did? So we need 7 white beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 white beads. And all you do is you just stick it through that other red bead across from it. Just like that. See, and that kind of makes that little circle there for that. And then you want to do 7 more like that. 6, 7. And just go through the neighboring red bead at the tip. Just like that. See, our hat's coming together. I guess they are all 7. Okay, so it's 7 for every one. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if there was a different amount at that. You know, we did that one part that had the 2 shorter little hoops like this, where they were just the smaller ones, because it went big, small, big, small, big, small, big, small, small, you know. So I didn't know, but it's 7 for all of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and stick them in the hoop. There we go. And we just do that all the way around until we get all of them connected. 2, 3. Oh, that's kind of a big bead there. I only got 6. That's why you always want to double check your counting. Okay. Stick it through there. Just like that. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I always like to double check. And then go through the other one here. Just maybe. Trying. I'm trying to. There we go. And pull through it. And that'll give it a little tug. It kind of looks like a little flower. And that's her little hat. That's it. That's all it takes. And like I said, they're a little floppy, but they're cute. Oh, they're so cute. And I like to I tie off at this point because we're going to work from the waist down now. So I'm going to go through, tighten everything up nice, and put some knots in and make sure it's nice and secure. And then we will add more thread into our from the waist down. I'm going to give it a little tug, make sure it's nice and tight, and just kind of bring it in and out of stuff. There we go. I tightened it up nice. Eyes are itching. There we go. Heck. Okay. And I think I'm going to put a knot here. Like I said, these are not for the faint of heart beaters. These are difficult little things, but they are so worth the work. You start getting into it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'll never figure it out. But it's not that hard. Like with the hat, it's not that confusing. You just have to basically count your 11 beads, and then you just want to add a bead to each one of those and do your little hoopies, and then connect all of those. Her skirt's a little more difficult, but it's just because there's a lot of steps to it. They are totally worth the time, though. They are so much fun. I absolutely love these cute little things. I think I'm going to try after I do my video with you guys to make some different colored ones, like with different colors. Because I've only done the white and red, and I'd like to do like a blue or purple or something pretty. But we're going to also make them into pendants too, which will be cute. Uh-oh. I got her arm stuck in there. We don't need that. There we go. I'm going to do one more knot and bring it through. Like I said, just make sure you're not getting her arms in there like I just did. block myself. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go through a couple beads and then snip it. You don't have to reattach. If you have enough thread, you don't have to do this, but there is our little hat. And she has her little braids and her little arms. Isn't she cute? I think her hat turned out better on this one than the last one. I don't know why. Maybe I just think that. I don't know. All right, now I'm going to get some new thread. My thread is getting a little shabby. Sometimes the Nymo, after a while, it gets a little frayed and shabby looking. And I want this nice and secure, so I'm just going to do that real quick. All right, so I got my thread, or a new thread, and got reattached here. Trying not to bump into you. Get these scissors out of the way. I keep catching on them. Okay, now we're going to want to come. Let's see what we got going here. We need 1, 2. Upper bead. So I want to be okay. So we want to be coming out of an upper bead on the belt line here. So you want to be coming up out of an upper bead, and you can tell which one's upper and which one's lower. Now we're going to add 2 rows here. Jeez Louise, getting all tangled into her little hands. There. Okay. So you want to be coming up out of an upper bead, and we want to do, I'm sorry, 2 rows underneath here for her. It's just for inside of the skirt, I guess you'd call it. I'm using white this time. Okay, so we need to do 2 rows of 11 beads. So 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I believe that's sorry, I'm looking at things here. Sorry. And we just want to do our peyote stitch on this, just like we did on the rest of the body. Pick up a bead, skip a bead, go through an upper bead. And we're just going to work our way around. It might look a little wonky because this is on the bottom part of it, but give it time. You know, your upper and lower beads aren't going to line up because it's different. It's the beginning 11 beads. That tickle. Okay. So we're going to need to do our step up. So we got our 4 on there. We're going to do our 5. Okay. So we're coming up through. And then we need to skip a bead and then step up. And get the arms stuck in there again. Jeez Louise. That's why I like to put the arms on last, because then you just get stuck in them. And just keep adding beads So you have like 2 rows basically. I think that's our last. Oh, I gotta step up. I'm gonna put another row on. I do believe. Just how you feel comfortable. This is just where her legs are gonna attach. This will be hidden underneath her skirt, so you don't have to be too particular about it. And one more. There we go. And so we kind of got a little bit of extra body there for her. Okay, now we're going to put on her legs. Actually, we'll do her skirt, because if we do her legs next, they might get in the way of us doing her skirt, is what I'm thinking. We will do the legs last. I think that's how I did her the first time, because I didn't want to get in the way of the skirt. Now the skirt's a little complicated, not gonna lie about it. So let me count here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we're gonna have 11 on our base circle here. Okay, with the up and down beads. So up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the way around. And 11 around her waist. So we're attaching the skirt to this area here that's underneath this belt line, because this is going to be underneath the skirt, this white here. So we want to attach our skirt from here below. We don't want to attach it up higher or any lower. So we want to have it below this belt line right here. And now I'm not going to lie to you. The skirt is kind of complicated. We need to, but we'll get through it. Don't worry. We can do this. So we need to bring our thread up to where they're coming out of these belt beads. Okay? Because we're down here. So we want to bring our thread up. We'll just kind of weave in and up and out of a couple here. And get all tangled up. There we go. And I'm going to just bring it up and through this one here. Now, so we're coming out of her belt there. Focus. See our thread's coming up out of that red bead there. Right there. You don't have to come out of the same bead. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. Now the first one we're going to string, I need to get a little bit more white beads here. These out of my way. I'm going to gather up my black beads because I don't need those any longer. We are finished with our black beads. So if you want to put your black beads away, you can put your black beads away. I'm just going to get him out of here because I don't need him in my way. There we go. Okay. I need a few more white beads here, so I'm going to get some more white beads out. Kind of staticky and that kind of went everywhere. So this is kind of, just bear with me and I will do this as best as I can to show you guys. So for our first little hoop, it's a series of hoops. I can kind of show you the pattern here. This is the pattern for her dress. Okay, so we're going to start with this first series of hoops here. And then we're going to add these little ones. And then we're going to add the last final pointy longer ones. Okay, so we're going to start with these. This is the belt line here. And so we're putting this part on. So we're weaving in and out of that belt line and working our way through. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start with 9 white beads on our needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's a little one, 9. I'm going to double check my counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And we're going to bring those down like so. And so we're going to have that little hoop. It's coming out of there. And we want to bring that into, let me see here. I'm looking. All right. So I just had a emergency interruption. So I have the hooks, like the sticky hooks that you put the sticky thing on, you stick them to the wall and you can like pull them off if you want. I have some of those on the back of my front door and one of them fell. And Kilala, my female cat, got incredibly freaked out and it spooked her and she went bolting down the hallway and scared Shade. And Shade tried jumping up on the washing machine and fell and broke his little itty bitty arm. So I'm going to continue this video where I left off, that I believe I left off. I'm not quite sure, but I just got back from the vet. He broke his arm really, really, really bad. He's, 9 months old? And I knew something was wrong because I went back there and he was hissing, and he's usually a really laid back, really chill, nice, sweet cat. And he was hissing and his arm was just like dangling. And I picked him up because he couldn't walk, he couldn't put any weight on it. And so I picked him up because I didn't want him walking on it. And, you know, my husband's like calling the vet and like, I look a little flustered because I am. And so I pick him up and his arm's just like, literally just like dangling like this. And I just knew it was broken. I didn't think it was as bad as it is. It's up high, up over here on this part of the arm, which they can't really splint or cast because it doesn't stay on because of the armpit area. So he got x-rays and he basically broke it like up high diagonally all the way down that bone, and it's a bad break. And they're going to have to do orthopedic surgery and put a plate in there and hold it together, and he'll have that plate in there the rest of his life. So that has been my day. So that's the interruption that we had. So I'm really sorry for the interruption. Poor little kitty, he's got to stay there 2 nights. I'm going to miss him. I can go visit him tomorrow, they said. So I'm going to go in tomorrow and visit him. But I'm sad. I'm sad for him. I feel bad for him. He's just, it sucks. It really sucks. Stupid freak accident. You know, that's all this is just some freak accident. Anyway, so I'm going to continue. Oh, good news though. I did get a message from my workout. I have to go work. So we're going to finish this video tonight. We are finishing this video. We're finishing it. It's getting done. It is getting done. So I have to go into work tonight, which is cool. I'm awesome. That's awesome. I'm happy about that. I'm a little flustered. I told my boss, I'm like, well, that's good because my cat just broke his arm. So yeah. So we're going to continue. I have her where she was. Well, I moved her because I didn't want the other cat to get to her, but I put everything away. But I have the beads still strung on here and everything. So we were on the skirt and we are going to continue that. I just wanted to let you know what was going on, kind of give you a little update. So I feel really bad for Shade. He's such a good kitty. So I feel really bad for him right now. He doesn't need to go through this, poor little guy. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around and get us all set up again, and we will continue on. Okay, so I do believe that we had just begun the skirt. I don't remember if I showed you or not, but this is the basic principle of the skirt. So this is the belt line here, this circle here, and then we're gonna string these, and then we're gonna string the little ones, and then we're gonna string the larger ones, and that will be our skirt. So we started off with I think 9. Let me get my light over here a little better. Oh, what a day, I swear. This just sucks so bad. All right, beat it away. We're going to beat it away. So we string, you want to string 9 beads here. So let me double check. 4, 6. I don't even think I have 9 on here. Oh, there's one up here. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, I do. So string our 9 onto our thread. And remember, we're up here in the belt line. Up there. And we just want to bring that. Let's see, we're coming out of that bead there. We want to bring it into the next bead here. Just like that. Pull it through. Make sure that we're not twisted, because it will kind of twist up as you go. Kind of turn you a little like that. Now, what we want to do is we want to pick up your needle. Let's see which ones are which. Here. Make sure you have the right side beads. And we want to go up and through. Kinda. I gotta get in the right frame of mind. Beading won't let you bead. You can't bead frustrated. It doesn't work. So you want to go through those last 3 beads right there like that and pull through like that. So you're going to have that. Okay. Now I'm going to mark those off so I know we've done those. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we want to add 6 white beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So pick up 6 white beads, and we're going to want to take that into that neighboring bead, that neighboring red bead there. I'm trying not to get tangled up here. Right there. And pull it through. And you're going to see something like that. Okay, and then we want to go back up through those 3 beads, those last 3 beads, like that, and pull through. And the lighting's different now because now it is dark out. It was light when we were working before, but I was at the vet for a while, so. And we're going to pick up 6 more, and we're going to do this all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to bring that through the neighboring bead. There. Pull it through. And our dress coming together now. Okay. Bring it back through those 3 beads. That. Pull through. Wondering if my light's a little bright. Maybe that's a little better. And so you're going to have a little something that looks like that. Okay. And do that again with 6. So we have, let's see, 1, that there. Trying to keep track. Okay, and we'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more beads. Stick it in that neighboring bead. And pull through. So basically you put the 9 on, and then we put our 6 on, and then after we put our 6 on, we always go through 3, back through the last 3 of them, like that, and then pull through, add 6 more, 4, 5, 6, and stick it in your neighbor bead, like that. Pull through. And go through those 3 beads. Always make sure it's the last 3 beads you put on, not those first 3. So we kind of got a little skirt going. She's got a little mini skirt right now, I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just keeping track here so I know what we're doing. Okay, here's 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go into our neighbor bead, like that. Pull through. Go through the 3 beads. Maybe. Oh, come on. I'm trying here. I'm really kind of relieved I don't have to go to work, though, because, just, what a day. What a day. Poor kitty. He's kind of a klutz, though. He's a big kitty, so he kind of gets a little clumsy. I'm not blaming him. It was just an accident. I'm just saying he's kind of clumsy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 more beads. Bring them down. through that neighbor bead. Pull through. Go through those first 3. And pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get it through that. The bead's kind of down in there. What's going on here? There we go. I'm going to count these real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. More. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 8. 2, 6. Did 8. Not thinking too good. Okay. Now this one we're going to skip because this is going to be the last one. We're going to skip one and we're going to go over to this one right here. Like that. And then I still want to go through the 3. Maybe if I can hold on to her. She's kind of hard to grip onto sometimes. Let's go through those 3 there, like that. There we go. Okay, and now what we want to do is we just want to pick up 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. And then what we want to do is go into this bead here. So you picked up 3. This was our last one that we strung. And we want to stick it into this bead right here. Oh, if you can see what I'm doing. This bead. Come on, focus. See, there's these 1, 2, 3, and then stick it into that bead right here. And just pull through. And that connects it all together. Okay? Now, that's our first little part of her little skirt there. There we go. Now, let's see. Give me 1 second. I gotta look at this pattern. I do believe that's where we want to come out of, but don't hold me to that yet. I have to look at this here. So now what you want to do is you want to pick up 5 white beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you're coming out, basically, I'm going to bring those down. Basically, you're coming out, this will focus. There it goes. We're coming out right here, out of this bead. Okay, and see this line here? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 4th one there. Ignore her little arm. And we want to put 5 over every petal, basically. I call those, they kind of look like petals. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to pick up 5 beads, and then you skip 2 beads right here. Trying to get it to focus good for you. Okay, so you're coming out, there's this arm of the petal, I guess you call that, and then you're coming out of that bead there. So skip 2 beads. Okay, there's these 3 here. Okay, basically you want to go into this one right there. Be a little confusing, but you'll get it as we go here. I think I did that right. Let me double check here. There's the yep, okay. And then hang on a second. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up 5 more. 3, 4, 5. And we want to jump over to, so our thread's coming out here. And we want to jump over 1, 2 beads and go into that 1/3 bead. Like that. Okay. It'll look a little weird at first, but it'll take shape as we keep going. Okay. We want to pick up 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we skip 2 beads. 1, 2, and go into the 3rd. You basically want the open part lined up with the open part of the petal, like that. Okay, just keep on going all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2, go into that 3rd bead. Like that. Pull through. Pick up 5. Okay. And then you skip 2, go into that 3rd bead. Not the easiest thing to film. It's not focusing too great on me. So pick up 5 more. Okay. Our thread's coming out right here. Skip these 2 beads and go into the 3rd bead. Like that. Pick up 5 more. Skip 2 beads. And you always want 3 down here. Okay, don't enter into these 3. All those 3 arms coming out. You want to enter up here. So skip 2, go into this 3rd bead right there. Get caught up and stuff. It's easy to kind of get caught when you're working on these. A lot of little stuff to hold on to. 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Skip 2, go into the third, like that. And we have, you can tell how many you have left because of the open areas here. So we got 1, 2 more of that to do. So 2 more times. Pick up 5, skip 2, enter the third bead. Maybe. There we go. Tail getting stuck. There it is. Okay, and 1 more time. Pick up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2. Go into 3. All right, that's the second part of our little dress. Kind of makes a little, almost like a snowflake pattern. See how it kind of is a little wavy on her. Okay, now the last part. Last part's a little different. So we have to come up. Okay, so we put down these 5 beads. Okay, I'm going to flip her a little bit here. Well, come on now. Okay, and so what we want to do, we have these 5 beads here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That long curl is in my way. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Whoops, I'm not even on the camera. My goodness, I'm sorry. So we're coming out down here out of that bead. And remember, we just put on this 5. I'll show you. We just put on the 5 beads here, these littler ones. Okay. So now what we want to do is with these 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we want to go through that third bead, the center bead basically. So see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we need our needle coming out of that center bead there. So 1, 2, 3. So we got to move our thread up a couple here. 2 there, and 1 more like that. Get caught in the hat. Okay. So you want to be on the tip of that's hoop, this hoop here. So we're going to add this part right here. Okay. Now in order to do that, we need to pick up 4 white beads. Okay, 4 white beads, 3 red beads, and 3 white beads. Four white beads, 3 red beads, 3 white beads. Okay. Pull it down. Now, this is a little tricky here because we have to bring our needle. So we want these 4. Okay, we need these tangled up here. These 4 down here. Okay. These 3 here, and then these 3 here. So basically, what we have to do, because we want it to go from this tip to that tip, but we want these 3 beads to kind of do their thing, right? So what we have to do is we have to bring our needle back down through. I can get this kind of setting right. Whoops. Dang it. Okay. Anyway. Okay, sorry, my work is texting me here. I messed up though, so we need to take these 3 white ones off. We don't put those on yet. That's my mistake. So take those last 3 I had you string off of there. Let's take those off of there. Pretend like that didn't happen. Because this is our first one. I always get a little confused, but you know, like I said, I've only done this once before, so I hope I'm doing an okay job for being a noob. Now, so we got those on there. Now what we want to do is we want to come back down with our needle through this white bead closest to the 3 red ones. So come back through that white bead that's right by the red ones. Skip the red ones, don't go through the red ones. And bring it down. We'll have to adjust it a little bit like we would fringe, you know, kind of pull on it and bring it down. That is what we'll have. Okay, now we need to string those 3 white beads that I had you put on that we didn't need. So we need to string those. Okay, it's like that. And now we stick those onto our 5 little ones, the neighboring 5 little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to go through that 3rd bead. Like that. Okay. And that's going to give you even it out a little. Something like that. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same over here. We want to pick up 4 white ones, 4 white beads, maybe if I can pick it up, 4 white beads, and then 3 red beads. Just like that. Okay. Bring them down. Skip those 3 red beads. So you want to skip those 3 red ones and go through that first white bead that's closest to the red beads. Just like that, like we did on the last one. And we're going to have to adjust it and pull it down. Okay, then you're going to have that little kind of fringy looking piece again, like so. And then we string 3 more white beads. 1, 2, 3. And then we go to our little 5 here. 1, 2, 3. It's so hard to see, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to go into that 3rd one. 1, 2, 3. Go into that one there. Just like that, without getting tangled. There we go. And this is the last little part of her skirt, which you can kind of see when you set her down. Okay, and we're just going to keep working it through like that. So 4 white beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 red beads. 1, 2, 3. Bring them down. And go through that white bead closest to the red beads. Like that. And pull through. I'm kind of a ways away from my work here. There we go. Kind of adjust it. You want to make sure that those tips are triangled like that at the end. You don't want them to have a different shape than that. You want them to be that shape. And pick up 3 more white beads like that. Here's our little 5-point, tiny, small little 5-point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go through the third one. That's so hard to get because it's kind of curly. It kind of curls up, which it's supposed to. It's a skirt, so it's supposed to be a little curly and wavy and pretty like that. Okay. And then we'll keep doing that. Pick 4 up, 4 white beads, 3 red beads, like that. We're going to skip those 3 red, go through that white that's closest to the red. That, pull it through. And add 3 more white beads. And go through the center of the 5-point. 1, 2, 3. Go through that one there. Pull through. And just keep on doing this all the way around our skirt. 1, 2, 3, 4 white beads, 4 white beads, 3 red. Bring it down. Go through that white bead by the red ones. Pull it through. Bring it close and snug with the rest of them. Like that. Put on 3 more white ones. And go over to our tip of our little circle of the 5, the third one. Pull. See your dress is coming in. Okay. Okay. Sorry, talking with my boss here. She's asking about the cat. Yeah, he's gonna have a rough one. So pick up 4 white and 3 red. He has to stay overnight for 2 nights. It's gonna be so weird without him here. It's gonna be so weird. Poor thing. They said we could come see him though. I'm gonna go visit him tomorrow. The vet said that, hang on a second. Okay. Oh, sorry. Keep getting, my boss is asking me stuff. I don't see her much, and she's at my store tonight, so she's got some questions. There we go again. We'll do this one first. We kind of got the hang of it, I think. Bring it through. And pull it tight. There we go. And 1, 2, 3 more whites. And stick it on top of that tip-top bead of those 5, so that third bead. Like that. Pull through. We're almost done. We have a few more left. Alrighty, so now we need to do 4 again. And 3 red. 4 white, 3 red. Bring it down. Bring your needle through that white one by the red. Pull through. Here we go. I still can't get over poor little Shade's arm. Just talking to my boss about it. And I'm thinking he loves food. He's a big eater. And string 3 white ones. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, he's not going to have his wet food tonight. He loves his canned kitty food. I feel bad because, you know, when they do surgery, they always starve him out a little. Can't eat before surgery. So that's kind of a bummer. He's going to be starving, the poor little guy. He's got a big appetite. He's a good eater, so he loves to eat. Kind of a big kitty, you know. 4, 3. So that's kind of sad. I think about him sitting in that scary vet's office all night. He won't be able to play at night. He loves to play right before bed. He gets real hyper, and him and his sister run around and play right before bed. He won't be able to do that. I don't even know. I mean, I'm debating on, is he going to be able to jump on stuff when he gets home? Are we going to have to keep him somewhere? I mean, I don't even know. I guess we can ask the vet all that tomorrow, but 2, 3. It's rough. I guess I could set this over here so you guys can see it. I didn't think of that. I don't know. Let's see, we got a couple more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 3 more into that one here. The third one over. That. Okay, we got 1 left. String 4 white, 3 red. Up my face on the light. There we go. Bring that down. Bring our needle through that white bead. Pull through. Tighten it up a bit. Add 3. If you can pick them up, there we go. And then we're just going to go into this one here. So we got 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And that is her dress. So we got her hat and her dress all finished. That'll tighten, but here we go. And now all we have left, guys, is the legs. So I'm going to bring my needle through here, all through here, and I want to get back to this center white stuff, okay? So let's just work our needle down. Try to figure out where I'm at here. Here we go. Let's kind of work our way through. Back down through stuff. Through the dress. Oh, that's so cute. She's so cute. And I'm trying to see. It's hard to see with all this stuff. That's okay. Bring it through that. Nope. Through that. There. I want to make sure it's tight. I want to make sure that's tight. Not too tight, but tight enough. Okay. Now, I'll move this out of the way here. Sorry, I need a drink there. Okay. Oops. Now, we have 2 rows here. Oh, where's my other? Hang on a second. Okay, as far as her legs go, you want to line up as best you can. You see where her little arms are here? You want to line up as best you can on the other side where her arms are. So we want to be coming, go through that one. I believe that is, so basically you want to say this row here, right here, flip the dress up, down, and we need to go over one more. So line up where her arms are. So on the same row where her arms are, come on, focus. This row right here, okay? You flip the little dress up, and it continues down, and there's the other side. So you want to be coming out of that bead, okay? Now, oh, I have to get my flush color again because I had to put everything away because I ran off to the vet. So a few of those. Now, this is optional, completely optional. That's the wrong one. With the one I did, and I kind of liked it this way, and I'm going to do this one this way also. You do not have to. You can use the same size beads. But if you look at this one, I added size 8 beads to her legs and made them just a little thicker. Okay? And that's an option. If you want to do that, you can. If not, you don't have to. If you don't have other size beads, you don't have to do that. You can use size 11. But I am going to use a size 8 for her. Okay? So I'm just going to pour a few of these. They're the same color as the other ones. Now, what you want to do, you want to pick up your needle here, and the first 3, I'm going to string 3 regular size 11 beads. It's like that. Okay? And then, I don't know if I moved you or not. I'm going to just kind of squeeze you over. And then I'm going to add 4 of the size 8s. This just kind of makes her a little more weighted too. I kind of like it. And then you want to add 4 size 11s for her toes. And you can make them a different color. You could make them red if you wanted, so that it looks like she's got shoes on. It's up to you. I'm going to leave her barefoot. So we're going to leave her barefoot. What you want to do is you want to skip these 3 beads here. So skip those 3 and then go back up and through all the others you strung. But skip those first 3. And then pull it down, and that's going to make her little foot. We want to pull it close. And we want to adjust that also so that it forms proper. If I can even get it to do so. I'm a little off tonight. I was doing better earlier, but now I'm a little off. So you have her first leg there. And then what you want to do is just come back through. And I'm just going to come through. I can show you here. That neighboring bead. Because it's all coming out of that bead there. Okay. Now I'm going to just come through that neighboring bead and work my way to the other side for her other leg. Okay. So we want to work our way over. I want to line up right too. So let's see. Her arm's coming out here in this row. So we need to come out right here. Okay. So I need to go over 2 more beads. Just like that. Okay. We got 1 leg. We have 1. Okay, now we're going to do the same on this side. And you can just guess by going exactly diagonal across from where the other one is. We want to add 3 size 11 beads and 4 size 8. Now, as far as if you were just going to do size 11s, you might want to add more than 4 because I'm doing bigger beads, but you might want to add more than 4 to make her legs a little longer, maybe 6 or something like that. And then you want to add 4 more of the size 11s. So, I mean, you might want to do, because you figure 4 beads length for size 8. I'd probably do 6. I would probably do 6 if you're doing only size 11 instead of these 4 here. So make that 4, 6, 11, size 11 seed beads, just so the legs are long enough. And then you come back up through, skip those bottom 3, and then come on back up through. Just like that. And pull it through. That. There we go. And just go back through these beads. And I'm going to work my way up and tie it off. Try not to get her leg caught up in everything. There we go. Got her legs on there. Okay. And just keep working your way through. I'm going to kind of go up though because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. And I'm just working up and working through. I'm going to tie a knot here and there so we can tie it off. Just like that. Bring it through. Through. And what I'm doing here, I'm going to double knot it. Whoops. One. And 2. Ouch, I poked myself. And come down. And I'm going to bring that through. And I'm going to give it a snip. And that is the finished lady souvenir doll. Isn't she precious? So my friends, we got through it. Barely got through it. I know it's long and I know it's arduous and I know it's not for, like I said, the faint of heart. But I hope you guys understood everything. If you have any questions at all, sorry, bump into you there. If you have any questions at all, if something wasn't clear enough, if I may have missed something or another or whatever, feel free to go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you were able to make your own little lady souvenir doll. She's so precious. Thank you for hanging out with me as long as you have and watching my video and your patience. I hope you guys are able to make your own little souvenir dolls, and I hope I was able to help you through it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and you take care.